with Cultivating Connections Travel Planners, and with me today are Sarah and Mandy with Brendan Vacations.
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
Us.
Thanks for having us.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, I'll turn it over to you. Sorry.
No, you're absolutely grand. Yeah, no problem. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah, and thank you for joining today, or if you're watching this in recording, hello. Today, I know maybe some of you have seen us go through Ireland. Today, we're going to spend a little bit of time in Scotland and go through some wonderful Scotland highlights that we have with Brendan Vacation. Throw in some Irish folklore story, a wee bit of games here and there. Sure, why not? It's a Tuesday afternoon. Erin's got her wee Guinness special there. I've got my wee Irish cup of tea. Sure, oh, let's have a bit of fun. I'm going to share my screen and I will catch up in a little minute, ladies. So Brendan Vacations, as I like to say, oh, there's a wee picture of myself. Oh goodness, just in case you didn't get a good look at my face there, I do apologize. So Brendan Vacations, for anything in the kilt, as I like to say. So we're the Ireland and Scotland specialists. No matter where or how you want to travel, with us at Brendan Vacations, sure, we have you covered, from guided to fully customizable. We're going to connect you to the real heartbeat of the Celtic Isle, which is the people. Now, we know that when you're going to be traveling with us with Brendan Vacations, we're going to be offering a traveling with stress-free. We have an always-on support team, and our on-trip teams have been expertly trained in enhanced hygiene and will monitor in compliance and guest well-being throughout each trip. They will get you from one destination to the next hassle-free and ensure the transportation and luggage are hygienically taken care of throughout. And if we are traveling on a guided vacations of 20 more guests, we'll have a dedicated well-being director as well to provide extra support to our usual on-trip team. And what's more, should we have a global support team behind the scenes as an additional layer of support. They're on call and in contact with our team 24/7. And with the 24/7 instant response, our teams are always up to date and continue to adjust to the changing regulations from health authorities and local governments. And all the hotels, venues and suppliers that you will interact with have been strictly vetted by our team to ensure each trip meets local regulations established by TTC, WTTC and WHO well-being protocols. Okay, I think we should have a little bit of fun. Now, honestly, can you name this famous icon or destination? As we're focusing on Scotland, I thought I'd start on something really fun. Can you type your wee answers in the box there? Can you tell me where this destination is? And if you guessed it, oh, I see some green. Yes, Loch Ness, you get it. Loch Ness monster. Now, when you're going to Scotland and you see Nessie, do me a wee favour and take a wee photo of her, and I want to see those pics. She is there, and only the very few get to see her. With Brendan Vacations, we have a wonderful, dedicated team on the ground in Dublin, and there's our wonderful Captain Riley, who's the Queen of Ireland, as I like to call her, and she is behind our wee blue door in Merrion Square. With our fabulous team in Dublin, our wonderful team here, and working with Erin, our absolute superstar, we're going to make sure that your trip to Ireland or Scotland is going to be magnificent. We've been around for over 50 years, and Catherine on the ground has been with us with Brendan for over 37 years. I am telling you, she knows everybody and everybody knows her. And we've got these local connections to hoteliers, local specialists, to make sure that your trip is going to be guided by our mantra of taking you personally, and it's going to be magnificent for you when you travel with us. Now, maybe you're traveling to Ireland or Scotland, you're thinking you want to have a celebration, a family reunion, you've got some special interests or festivals or set jetters. We really have something for absolutely everyone and every occasion. With our independent travel styles and our guided vacations, we can handcraft a perfect itinerary, showcase the best of the Celtic Isles. But of course, we're going to do that by connecting you with the locals along the way. They say the Irish put the story in history, and when you come with us over to Ireland, Scotland with us, we're going to make sure you create your own Celtic story. We do that by connecting you to the heartbeat of the Celtic Isles, which is the people. So Dee up in Belfast, Stephen in Westport, and if you joined us for our last week presentation, you would have met some of these wonderful characters along the way. They find their stories in the sea-beaten beauty, the mythic history, and the fierce independence. Now, there is such a huge connection to Ireland and Scotland and to America. And it's absolutely incredible that people can have these connections to our wonderful homelands. And maybe you want to walk in the footsteps of your Celtic clan and you want to do some ancestry. No matter where you are in your ancestral journey, or your genealogy journey, we can help you. From the Epic Museum in Dublin, we can connect you with the genealogist and, you know, maybe go to those little tiny wee places where your great grandparents used to run around like wee folks when they were younger. Or maybe you know exactly where to go. We can help do that for you. And also over in Scotland, you can get a private genealogy experience over in the Culloden Centre as well. Now, I think it's incredible that people get to go and walk in the footsteps of their Celtic clan. It's something so special, and it's about creating those amazing memories. So it's all about taking you personally, as I mentioned, and really guided by our mantra. No matter what your interests are, no matter what you want to do, we are here to work alongside Erin to make sure we capture that. And be it hiking in the mountains, kayaking over in the Atlantic Ocean, going up for Highland Safari, or tasting some haggis, we have you covered. It's all about taking you personally, so it's going to be perfect for you. And we do that with our independent travel styles that we have. We have our private chauffeur, our Lux Self-Drive, locally hosted rail, and our guided vacations. Today we'll take you on a wee journey around. Tell us a bit more about Scotland today. I know you've heard about Ireland on our last get together that we had. We'll talk about Scotland and then maybe throw in some Irish as well as a bit of Ireland along the way. Now, we really have travel for everyone, and we can mix and match any of these travel styles. You want to take a guided vacation and then take on the open road yourself? No problem at all. And we're going to stay in properties that have stories to tell, and we're going to connect with locals along the way. And this is known as Catherine's Collection. Hand-picked, hand-selected accommodations from castles, hotels, manors, B&Bs that you will stay in along the way, and also connecting you to the people of the Celtic Isles too. Be a local specialist. Maybe you're going to dive into culture down the Waterford, Crystal, or you're going to go and you're going to have a Be My Guest experience. You're going to connect with the locals, and all these connections that we have are created by Catherine. We put them in as Catherine's Collection. Some accommodations, as I spoke about before, we have the wonderful Ashford Castle on the west coast of Ireland. Oh, beautiful 800-year-old castle, a 5-star property, and that's for my future home. Yes, it is. I will be living there one day. I'm just putting it in the universe. You'll find me with my crown having a wee cocktail. Jokes aside, Ashford Castle is stunning. Loch Lake, oh my God, the surroundings are beautiful, and it is a 5-star property and a Red Carnation property, which is our sister brand. And the 83 bedrooms in the castle are all individually decorated. You can do wonderful experiences here as well and really have that wow factor. Of course, the Adare Manor over on the west coast as well. It is a neo-Gothic architectural masterpiece. And it was once actually the family seat of the Earls of Dunraven. And now it is cherished as a warm and welcoming 5-star luxury resort, and it's spectacular setting, authentic historic character, and the impeccable service of its world-class staff too. And this is some of the properties we have in Ireland. Of course, we have so many more hotels, manors, B&Bs, and we did talk about some last time. And of course, you can reach out to Erin and she will tell you everything that we have to best suit your needs and make it personal to you. Over to our Celtic cousins in Inverlochy Castle, one of Scotland's finest luxury hotels, uniquely located amongst the glens, lochs and mountains of the West Highlands of Scotland. And here you'll experience one of the most relaxing and exciting vacations of a lifetime. And every detail is immaculate. It is absolutely beautiful. over to the Isle of Eriska Spa and Island Hotel. This beautiful setting of this beautiful property. Again, we can stay in castles, hotels, manors, and B&Bs. We can mix and match any of our properties when it comes to staying in accommodations in Ireland and Scotland. I love Barcaldine Castle. Would you believe this is a luxury B&B, so bed and breakfast near the town of Oban. And this property is on the banks of Loch Ness and is set against the beautiful snow-capped mountains of Glengoyne. It is stunning. I cannot wait to get back there. You're going to absolutely love it. So again, Catherine's collection are these properties and experiences that we are going to make sure that you're going to see and visit and have a great time while traveling with us. We're going to go a bit through about our independent travel styles. I will go into our private chauffeur, our self-drive, Lux Self-Drive, and by rail. And they are available both in Ireland and Scotland. But our Lux Self-Drive is just available in Ireland. It's just not, we just launched it, so we have it in Ireland at the moment. But maybe I thought I'd tell a wee story before we go over to our Celtic cousins. You know, there's so many folklore stories that we have. If you're driving around Ireland, for example, and you want to stop off up in the north of Ireland, in the Glens of Antrim, you'll find a magnificent wee place called the Giant's Causeway. And you go up there and you meet a local specialist, a local host, Mark. Oh, we adore Mark Rogers. But before we go to our Celtic cousins over in Scotland, I want to tell you the tale of a link that goes back very, very long time ago. You see this beautiful formation here in the north of Ireland called the Giant's Causeway. And scientists believe that it was created by volcanic activity, yada, yada, yada. But what we believe and what we know what happened is created by giants. And here's a wee connection between Ireland and Scotland. There was an Irish giant called Finn McCool, and he had a rival over in Scotland called Benandonnan. Now, this story is a folklore story, and it's been passed down from generation to generation. So the Irish giant, Finn McCool, was going to fight his Scottish rival, Benandonnan. So he built a causeway from the tip of Ireland over to Scotland, and he was going to fight him. So he went as proud as punch with his proud chest, and he got closer and closer and closer to Scotland. Now, between Northern Ireland and Scotland, it's about 12 miles. This causeway is about 12 miles. And you could see the Scottish giant in distance. And as he got closer and closer to Scotland, the Scottish giant got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then he said, whoops, oh no, I'm not going to fight him. He's absolutely huge. I'm terrified, he's so big. So he runs back and goes to his wife, Una, and says, Una, I can't fight the Scottish giant. He is way too big. And Una thought for a moment, okay, I've got an idea. I'm going to dress you as a baby and put you in the bed. So in he pops in, Finn McCool goes, dresses the baby, and then not too long after that, there was a knock, knock, knock on the door. And guess who it was? It was Benandonnan, the Scottish giant. And then he roars, I'm here to fight the Irish giant, Finn McCool. And Una opens the door and said, all I have is my sleeping baby. He looks around, sees Finn McCool dressed as a baby and says, if that's the size of the baby, I don't want to see the size of the father. And ran as fast as he could back home to Scotland, chipping away at the causeway as he went. So that's how the Giant's Causeway is formed, not because of volcanic activity, yada, yada, yada. So you'll hear these folklore stories in Ireland and over in Scotland too. The fairy pools, there's so many of them. Now, the reason why I like that one in particular is because behind every man, there's a strong and smart woman. And of course, moving on to our next travel style, we have the private chauffeur. And this is where you're going to be with your skilled storyteller, a local in the know. They are going to be there with you, and it's going to be absolutely customizable to where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to see, where you want to stay. Now, we can go all around Ireland, but today let's focus on Scotland. And we can offer, with the private chauffeur, we have the exclusive experiences. So you can get an exclusive tour in Edinburgh Castle, seemingly growing from the centre of Edinburgh as from a fairy tale itself. It stands proud over the historic Scottish town. So when you're here, you get to soak up some of the best views of Edinburgh. And as you scale the castle, you'll absolutely adore it. And then again, the private chauffeur, we can go up to Culloden, up to the Highlands as well. And as I spoke earlier, you can do the genealogy here too. And you may be aware of the Battle of Culloden, where in 1746, two armies gathered in a vicious battle that would leave 1,600 men dead. And it was the final battle of the Jacobite Rising, where the Duke of Cumberland's government troops fought Jacobite supporters on Culloden and battlefields. So now, over 300 years later, you can go up and visit a visitor centre, see artefacts. It's incredible. It's immersive theatre as well. It's absolutely wonderful. Again, with the private chauffeur, everything is customizable, where you want to go, where you want to stay, and having those exclusive high-touch experiences too. Now, we do know that Ireland is the home of Guinness. We have the best stout, I must say now. And of course, we can offer those exclusive experiences with a connoisseur experience at the Guinness Storehouse. We can do that on any of our travel styles. But I thought, while we're over in Scotland, what are we famous for? We're famous for the ale whiskey. So why don't we talk about some of the whiskey that you can experience? And we can do private whiskey experiences on a private chauffeur. Well, we would definitely recommend getting a chauffeur if you're going to do tastings of whiskey. We don't want you driving doing that, so no way. We can go to beautiful Glengoyne and discover Scotland's whiskey spirit in the Glengoyne Distillery. This is a beautiful distillery, and I think it's about like 45 minutes from Glasgow, and it's nestled among the views of rolling hills and hidden glens. And you'll be taken through the journey of the Glengoyne's whiskey makes through. It's absolutely beautiful. You'll spend your day immersed in nosing, swirling, and tasting the good stuff. It's so wonderful. Another fabulous distillery is the Cardhu Distllery, and it's a true outlier. And it's the first distillery founded by a woman. Indeed, fraught with history, co-founded by Helen Cumming and her whiskey smuggler husband in 1824. A proprietor of a renowned silky malt, the distillery offers a range of tastes and tours for whiskey fans and for those who are new to the drink up, the experienced connoisseurs. So it's an absolute, really wonderful experience. Of course, you have other distilleries like Glenlivet is very popular as well. It's the true spirit of the wild Scotland, they say, the Glenlivet Distillery, and that's based on the edge of the sprawling Canarms National Park in the Livet Valley. So again, all these wonderful distillery, we can offer these experiences. Is that what you want to do? You want to have those exclusive experiences, have a whiskey tastings along the way, maybe go to Talisker, which is the oldest working distillery on the Isle of Skye. And it produces sweet, full-bodied single malt that's enjoyed by whiskey fans around the world. Oh my goodness, all this talk of whiskey, I'm getting an awful thirst in me. So we can offer this on our private chauffeur, have those really cool experiences of going to these wonderful distilleries, and you can do tastings, you can go through the distillery and do master classes are in the heart of the distillery as well. Okay, next up. Can we name this famous destination? Can you think about it for a wee second? I know it's very tough. We are over in Scotland, and some people say it's the home of golf. Yep, it is St. Andrews, and of course, they are known for the golf. They say that do you know the Scottish? They say that they actually created the golf. They say it's the home of golf. As I'm Irish, I like to say that we perfected it. Oh, I'm joking, but we do have fabulous golf courses, and all you got to do is bring your wee shoes. We can organize everything else. So we'll organize the tee time, the golf clubs, we can organize everything. And it's all built around our private chauffeur. Again, those exclusive high-touch experiences, and you go around and play a wee round of golf, and maybe half of the group want to golf, the other half don't. No problem. We send the golfers off today, and the rest can enjoy, maybe go on to have a wee tipple or two. Of course, we can see Scotland with our locally hosted rail, where there'll be a local specialist in each city that you will visit, and they will meet you at your hotel, coming with a treasure trove of ideas on what to do, taste, and see in their city, be it Edinburgh, Glasgow, or the Highlands. And you'll have, I like to say, traveling alone, but never on your own. And again, it's connecting you to the locals along the way, like a food tour or going to do a Doomed Dead and Walking Berry tour. Now, this is not for me. But when you think about Edinburgh and visiting the city, you probably think of Hollywood Palace, Princess Street, or maybe the amazing Edinburgh Castle. But I don't know how many of you know about the hidden underground and the ancient stories of these undergrounds. And hidden beneath Scotland's historic capital lies the swirl of chambers and passageways, some of them well known, some of them all forgotten. So all these wonderful, cool experiences that we can offer, and maybe going to the Scotch Whisky experience, nestled in the top of Edinburgh's Royal Mile and has been home to Scotch Whisky for over 30 years. A really cool experience as well as interactive. Maybe you're over in Scotland and you're thinking, oh, do you know what? I'd love to drive myself. Want to drive into the Highlands, have those wonderful experiences. Again, these independent travel styles, we can stay in fabulous accommodations, castles, manors, hotels, and connecting with the locals along the way. With self-drive, you're taking the open road, we'll organize everything, and you don't really need a car when it comes to the city. So then you can enjoy your time, maybe in Edinburgh or Glasgow, wherever you arrive, and then pick up the car and head on the open road. Of course, it's about connecting with the locals along the way and having those wonderful experiences. Maybe you want to do some hiking, or maybe you want to go up to the Highland Safari and explore the heart of the Highlands and the great outdoors in a Land Rover off-road experience with a local kilted Highland Safari ranger. Now, so different experiences you can book, from a forest safari, which is great for families, and that allows you to get close to nature and the wonders of the natural environment in the ancient Caledonian pine forest. So this will take you between 2,000 and 3,000 feet elevation. It is amazing. Or maybe, oh, sure, look who it is. It's herself again. We can go and visit Loch Ness Monster, the Nessie. And of course, we can do that on any of our travel styles to bring you to this area and really hear the stories of the destination and get under the skin and learn about the culture and dive into culture and really immerse yourself in the destination. And we cannot wait for you to do that. And we also have our guided vacations, as you know, where we take care of everything and sit back, relax. You're going to leave those guidebooks at home. And this is where these are set itineraries that we have, our guided experiences, and you'll have a bit of free time. You're going to connect with locals along the way, see those iconic sites. We're going to make sure you don't miss a beat. Now, I'm just going to invite Mandy back on for 1 wee second, because we do have a wonderful guided vacations experience that Erin is working on to travel with us for next year. Mandy, would you like to tell us a little bit more about that?
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm so excited about Ireland and Scotland. I just love your presentation. So thank you again for joining us. Speaking of guided travel, you mentioned the Highlands earlier. Calling all Outlander fans, Erin is taking a group to Scotland in August of 2022. And so what we have with Erin's group is no deposit. And if you pay in full by June 3rd, you'll save 12.5% off of your trips. So we've got an amazing rate set up. We have so many wonderful experiences on this itinerary, and it's called Highland Trail Inspired by Outlander. So you're going to those amazing film locations, as well as seeing some of those iconic sites that Scotland is known for. And I know Sarah's got some amazing experiences to show you and tell you about as well. So I'll turn it back over to Sarah.
Thanks, Mandy. Oh, sure. Look, don't I love Outlander? Isn't Jamie is dreamy now? I absolutely am hooked on it. So I love this experience and this tour, this guided vacation. And I think if you're interested, you're going to love it too. It's a captivating tale of red coasts and rugged Highlanders is relived in this Outlander-inspired jaunt through the dramatic landscapes of Scotland, We're going to start in the enchanting capital of Edinburgh with some free time to ramble through its medieval streets before joining our fellow travellers and having a hearty and Scottish welcome reception and soak up some of the mystical atmosphere of Inverlochy this morning. And you'll join a local specialist for an intriguing sightseeing tour, including a visit to the wonderful Edinburgh Castle. And you'll tread in the footsteps of Jamie and his beloved Sassenach, embarking on an Outlander walking tour through old town's winding cobblestone lanes. And then you have a wee bit of a day of leisure. You can go see some more locations like the Palace of Holyrood House. And then we get to visit the 15th century walls of Loch Ness Castle and the shores, the scenic Firth of Forth, the famous Fort William prison in Outlander Season 1. Then across the Forth, the fictional village of Cranishmere, real-life Culross, delving into tales of witchcraft and spells. Here we'll see Clare's herb garden and Jill Duncan's home in the remarkably well-preserved 16th century town. Then we're going to be traversing the lush green lowlands to the Kingdom of Fife. We arrive in Falkland. This former royal borough was the Outlander film location for 1940s Inverness and the springboard to Clare's spellbinding story. We get to stop in a Coventry Hotel, which doubled as Mrs. Bard's beauty in the series, before heading to the home of golf at St Andrews. And over in St Andrews, we're actually going to stop in Dundee after that, and we'll see the impressive Tay-rail bridge and view the RRS Discovery, the last traditional wooden three-masted ship built in Britain, which served as Robert Falcon Scott's Antarctic exploration vessel. We get to celebrate rural Scottish heritage at the Highland Folk Museum with its recreated 18th century township once used as the filming of Outlander Season 1. And here we're going to dive into culture and get insights into rural life in Scotland from the 18th century to mid-20th century, admiring the extensive collection of artifacts. And then we'll continue through the rugged landscape of the Highlands, and then we're going to stop off in our hotel, and then we're going to stop into the bloody battlefields of Culloden as well, where Bonnie Prince Charlie's Jacobite army was defeated in 1746. The windswept moors on which this final battle took place played a significant role in the Outlander series, the catalyst which forced Clare and Jamie to part ways. And we relived the brief but brutal battle at the Contemporary Visitor Centre before continuing through Inverness en route to Thurso, the most northerly main town in Scotland. Spend a couple of nights up there from the coastal village of John O'Groats. We catch the ferry that crosses the Pentland Firth and arrive at St. Ronaldsay, one of the Orkney Islands. And do you know the legend of Orkney's mythical selkies, which shift their aquatic form on land to walk as humans? And it's revealed in Outlander and explored today as we roam these mystical inlands, these mystical islands, baying for the remains of the Neolithic Scarta Bray village, which was lost for millennia. Wander freely amongst the standing stones of the Ring of Rigor before a final photo stop at Kirkwall Cathedral, and then we're going to get back on the ferry and come back on the mainland. Yeah, but then we're going to travel south to soak up the seafaring heritage of Ullapool, a fishing town in Loch Broom and home to Thomas Telford's famous herring port. We traverse the rugged countryside and see the spellbinding spot where three lochs meet and are guarded by the island fortress of Cultivating Castle. And continuing the picturesque Isle of Skye, we hear about Bonnie Prince Charlie's daring escape over the sea Skye, aided by the Jacobite heroine Flora MacDonald. And that evening, we're going to have a wonderful time in the hotel, and we're going to leave the craggy landscape of Skye behind, boarding a ferry back to the mainland to Mallock, and our journey continues to Fort William via the magnificent Glenfinnan Viaduct. We admire exquisite views of Britain's highest mountain, Ben Nevis, before travelling past the beautiful mountains of Glencoe to the sea, Glen of the Weeping. Our final stop today is an idyllic holiday retreat, and we'll spend a couple of nights in Kinlochranna. We're going to dive into culture again and learn about the local whisky industry at the famous Cardhu Distllery, including a tasting of Scotland's much-loved golden nectar. Then visit Pitlochry in the banks of the Tumel and enjoy some free time for lunch. We're going to head to Drink Castle, which served as the film location for Castle Leoch in Outlander, and we see the site where Clan Mackenzie welcomed and hosted Clare upon her arrival in 18th century Scotland, and head to Stirling and its magnificent castle, a symbol of Scottish national pride, and once home to Scottish royals, including Mary, Queen of Scots. We get to explore its halls, chapels, and bedrooms, and see the famous Stirling heads. And that morning, it's gonna see the beautiful, the masterfully crafted St Mungo's Cathedral, the Outlander film location for the Hôpital d'Angus in Paris. And it's here that Clare persuaded Mother Hilgard to let her put her medical knowledge to good use. So we're going to see all these wonderful sights, and also in this palace, which doubled as the prison entrance and corridors of Wentworth Prison, where Jamie was imprisoned in season 1. And on encounter with Highland stories, not yet is over. We're going to join the Wood family and they're in their 15th century farm on the shores of Loch Ness. We're going to connect with locals over home cooked farewell be my guest lunch amongst intriguing tales of Rob Roy. And as the chapter closes on our Outlander-inspired journey through the wilds of Scotland and centuries of fascinating heritage, we say farewell to each of our newfound friends, and here we'll come back to reality. And that's just a wee taste of what to expect when traveling and the wonderful Outlander experience with Erin. So reach out to Erin, get all the details, and I guarantee you're going to love it. So there is little wee stories. We saw some places around Scotland and of course Ireland too, and we have really traveled for everyone. No matter where or how you want to travel, we have you covered, from guided to fully customizable. Again, those private chauffeurs, those exclusive high-touch experiences, a local host where you're traveling alone but never on your own, the self-drive where you're on the open road, or a guided vacation, or we do the Lux Self-Drive over in Scotland. We really have something for everyone. And working with Erin, we're going to make sure it's going to be completely personal to you. Of course, you can mix and match any of these travel styles. You want to take a rail and then take on the open road with the self-drive? No problem. We are a member of the Travel Corporation, a very proud member of the Travel Corporation, and we do have wonderful sister brands that you might be familiar with, like Trafalgar, Uniworld, African Travel, just to name a few. We always want to make sure we're making a difference to the people and the places that we visit. And partnered by TreadRight for non-for-profit, we really want to make sure we're impacting future generations for good. So it's so important to start making a difference when traveling with Brendan Vacations to Ireland, Scotland. There's always ways to save, and whenever you maybe watch this recording, you can always reach out to Erin to see the current deals as well that we have available. Okay, one more little wee quiz. Can you name this animal? Is this a Texas Longhorn, a hairy coo, or a Jersey cow? Yay, it's a hairy coo. You'll see plenty of these in Scotland. So a big Raven Mila Maya Gut, which is thank you very much. Brendan Vacations, we're anything in a kilt. We're the Ireland and Scotland experts. No matter where or how you want to travel, we have you covered, from guided to fully customizable. We'll connect you to the real heartbeat of the Celtic Isle, which is the people. So thank you for joining today. Thank you so much, Mandy. Thank you, Erin. You guys are the best.
Thank you so much, Sarah. This was fantastic. It's always a pleasure to have you join us on these events, and we are excited to visit your hometown, the place that you tell us about with so much passion. So hopefully we can all get there sooner than later. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, thanks.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Mandy.
Our pleasure. Thank you, Erin.
Absolutely.